Hello and welcome. It's Hermie Abraham from Advocation. Advocation is an employment law firm that helps employers and employees prevent and resolve problems in the workplace. And with so many people working from home today, and especially in light of the Ontario government's essentially shutdown of workplaces that are non-essential for physical work in the office, so many of us are now working from home, myself included. So I wanted to get some practical tips on how best we can work from home and continue to be productive. And I could think of no better person than Janet Lewis. So welcome, Janet.
Hi, Hermie. Thank you.
So let me tell you, everyone, a little bit about Janet. Janet is a consultant that loves to work with innovative thinkers, creative doers, hustlers who believe in the power of sharing their knowledge in order to help others accomplish goals and make dreams come true. Janet has a gift of being able to break down complex ideas and simplify them, and she believes there's always a solution or workaround to every challenge. She has worked with large corporations, small businesses, individuals, and she's helped them launch simple to complex solutions. In her role as an e-learning consultant, Janet has worked on over 100, count that 100, online course projects and has been a member of an award-winning e-learning team. Not one-dimensional, Janet has been an athlete, a coach, a mentor, a teacher, an instructional designer, a team leader, consultant, and a small business owner. And currently she owns and operates Janet Lewis Consulting, orangefish.ca, which is an online store, I guess, essentially. And she's the host of and the interviewer of the podcast, The Janet Lewis Show, where she interviews guests to explore their journey in finding or creating a career or job that they love. So welcome, Janet.
Hi, Hermie. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, well, this will be awesome because, like I said, a lot of us are now faced in this new world of having to work from home, and we've never done it before. Or if we've done it very sort of tangentially, a little bit here, a little bit there. So before we get started, please tell me a little bit about how you came to work from home and how long you've been working from home.
I feel like that has been forever, and it wasn't planned, actually. It was kind of accidental that it happened, but I've been working from home since 2004. And originally, actually, Hermes, where we met was we were both working for that small e-learning company, Isopia, and it got bought out by a large organization. And, you know, they laid off my entire team, and then they offered me a job that I really didn't want. And so I'm like, I think I'm going to quit. And so that's what I do. I just quit and then I'll figure it out. And so I thought I would actually go to like another small e-learning company because I love the startup environment. I love the energy. And, you know, when I went to the job interview, it went great. But at the end, the guy interviewing me is like, so how do you feel about being on contract? And I was like, okay. And so then it just ended up that I started my own e-learning consulting company where I would help people with their e-learning strategy, as well as their online courseware development and implementation. So it's kind of serendipitous in that it just happened. And I always thought I would get an office, like an office somewhere outside of my home. But I really do enjoy working from home. And I think there are so many benefits from working from home. And if you can figure out what works for you, you can actually be more productive and probably also change your day around so it can really be the life that you want to live.
Absolutely. And what I love about your backstory is what I see so often as well in the clients that come to me, people who have gone through some kind of adversity, a little bit of a change to what they expect, and essentially they make the best of it, right? And in your case, it led to you starting a company and having this wonderful new way of working that, you know, you've been able to do for over 16 years and a number of people are coming to now. So I can imagine sort of after being in a workplace for so long and having water cooler chat and everything, that there is a transition in like working from home. So tell me about your biggest challenge or something that you found to be challenging in working from home and how you overcame it.
Sure. Yeah. Like, I think my biggest challenge, and I'm still resolving it, is that I'm a recovering workaholic.
Mm,
So I have a hard time separating work time from non work time. And I have put some solutions in place to help with that. So when I'm talking workaholic, it's like I would get up, I'd start work at 8 a.m. and some days I'd be working till 2, 3 in the morning, get
wow.
up and do the same thing all over again,
Yeah.
plus work weekends. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of hit a wall and had some personal things go on that kind of affected me. And I thought, you know what? I need to change some things around.
Mhm.
And so now, Monday to Friday, I always start work at 9 a.m., which might sound late to some people, but I do have a daily routine in the morning. And so I start work at 9, and I actually give myself permission to end my day at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, or when I'm done my task list for the day. And when I've given myself that permission, it's for me, I'm okay if I'm reading a book for enjoyment at night, or I'm watching TV, or I'm going out with friends. And also, the other thing that I've implemented that I love is I do not make any plans or do anything on Sundays anymore.
Good.
So Sundays to me is a free day. I don't do any work on Sundays. Even if a friend asks me to like plan a brunch or plan to do something, I say no. If I want to wake up Sunday morning, if I wake up Sunday morning and I'm like, oh, I think I want to like go to the beach or go for a bike ride or go for brunch, then I'll make the plan. But I don't have any designated plans or schedules that I follow on Sunday.
I
And I
love
think that
that.
makes a big difference.
I love that. And you know what? You pointed on a couple of really key points I think are so like they're great nuggets of wisdom, because I think that for most people, even when you are doing the 9 to 5 grind, or for most of people that we know, it's more like a, 8 to 7 or 8 to 8 grind or even longer. Your work is all consuming, right? And
Yeah.
so if you are moving that at home, it can really sort of take over your life. So you really have to think about coming up with structures or systems so you don't necessarily, have no balance whatsoever. You can be able to balance both the personal and professional.
Yeah. And people that are listening, there are times when you have projects with deadlines where you might need to have like one night where you're working like crazy, but that's not the norm. That's the exception. And the one thing that I've really learned is that if there is not a prompt deadline, the work will always be there tomorrow.
Exactly.
And so if you are really struggling during the day and you're not being productive and you're not getting anything done, sometimes it's better to step away from the desk, go for a run, um, do a little dance, whatever. Okay, you have a
Yeah.
nap, whatever it is, and then maybe try to come back to it. And part of the challenge is that we get into our own heads. And so sometimes it's like, oh, I have to get this done, I have to get this done, I have to get this done. But we're thinking I have to get this done instead of focusing on the actual work at hand.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's just like extra energy that's going on. So, or lack of energy. So we kind of need to change our state in order to be able to come back to it and be productive.
Got it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So, how are some ways that you've set up your workstation to be productive? And I'll have to say that this is, I do a little bit of both work from home and work from the office. And I actually like to work from home when I don't have meetings, so I can have really focused time, especially if I have to draft documents and stuff like that. And so my work from home environment is great for that, but maybe not so much. And I'm now having to do meetings and stuff like that. So what are some of the hacks that you've had to be able to make your workplace productive for the tasks that you're doing?
Yeah. So most of my work is like 90% on my laptop. So my office is super simple. It's like a desk, a chair, a laptop, very minimal distractions in my office. I'm not even like a music listener. Like I like silence when I'm working. I have a couple of like motivational signs, and I also have like my personal principles that are listed that I can look at so I know what I've committed to. But it's super, super simple. But I think the less distractions you have. So I also try to keep my office super organized and clean. like everybody else, though, I get the pile buildup.
Yeah.
But, you know, with the pile buildup, what I do to help out with managing that, because I think that's one of the other biggest challenges is like all this mail is coming in. What do you do with it? And so I actually just put it in a pile. And then on Friday, as one of my afternoon tasks, I go through it and then the pile's gone. But it's not like I'm paying attention to that stuff day to day because it doesn't need my day to day attention. You know, most of that stuff just gets thrown out anyways.
So here's a sort of a sidebar question. How about people who are now working from home and everybody is there? They have their spouse there and their children and their fur babies. Any productivity hacks that you would give to people like that?
Yeah, I think, you know, I saw the joke going around on Facebook and social media where it's like you basically tape your children to the floor. I'm not recommending that.
Yeah, no.
But what I think,
no
it could probably work. Yeah, it could probably work. But what I think is super important is that you do have a dedicated workspace. So even if you don't have a room in your house where you're working, if you have a table, a chair, a space, you set it up as your workspace and you communicate with your family. When I am here, I am working. And so you can contact me if it's an emergency and clearly tell them what an emergency involves.
Correct.
And it's harder, I think, for parents to have, I've seen as a solution, because I don't have little ones, is that, you know, both parents who are at home working are taking turns. So it's like dad has the kids in the morning, mom has the kids in the afternoon. And so you just really have to make the most of that time that you're given in that type of situation.
Perfect. That's great. Great advice. So,
yeah. Oh, can I say one other thing about setting up your office? I just thought of this because this year I worked with a business coach. And remember, I've been working from home since 2004. So my office had always been set up the same, the exact same. And so I'm working with this business coach. She's like, I think you need to change where your desk is. And I'm like, I don't want to change where my desk is. Like, I think it's perfect. But I just shifted my desk. And so instead of facing north, it's now facing west. And it sounds weird, but for energy and flow, it's actually created a different level of creativity.
I like it.
And, you know, maybe I needed that shift because I had my desk the same way for so long. So it's just creating something different. So the one thing I would say to people when they are setting up their designated workspace is if your designated workspace is not working for you, change it.
Yeah.
Move it. Go somewhere else. Find what works for you because that's what's most important.
Love it. Great, great, great advice. So imagine now that you're someone who, again, hasn't traditionally worked from home on a full-time basis. You've been transitioned now to having to work from home full-time, work remotely full-time. And, you know, whether you're working with other staff members, what would you offer in terms of advice on how a person should get started and what they can do to just kind of move forward in a positive way or start out the working relationship in a positive way?
Yeah, so I wrote an article with just outlining 5 basic things that you can do in order to just get started. And the first one is what we just discussed, like establishing your workspace. Super, super important. The second one is establishing a daily routine. And, you know, your daily routine can be what works for you. But if you do the daily routine the same every day, it gets your day off to a good start and gets you into a rhythm. Mm-hmm. So, for example, my daily routine includes getting up, going to the gym, not right now, but usually going to the gym, coming home, having a tea, practicing my gratitude. So I do a little gratitude each day. And then I do creative writing for 30 minutes to an hour, check my emails, and then I get into my creative or consulting work. And, you know, when you establish that flow, it kind of like sets you up for your day. You don't have anything that's coming in to like disrupt you or upset the apple cart. So you can really kind of get going. And then in the afternoon, I leave my afternoon open for meetings, because by the afternoon, I'm feeling a little bit unfocused. So it's a great time to be like connecting and talking with other people. Now, having said that, that's what works for me. That might not work for everybody. So you need to figure out like, when are you most creative and when are you most focused, and take advantage of those times. And I can also tell you, like, over age, that has changed for me. So for example, when I was younger, I was most creative and most focused from 2 until 7 at night. Now, being older, I'm actually most focused in the morning until about 1 o'clock. So you really kind of have to pay attention to those things. The other thing is, you know, setting your alarm clock every day and getting to work on time. Whatever time you designate, that's what time you should be there. So if you plan that you want to work every day for 9, pretend like you're really going to your job and you need to be there at 9, because that also gets you in a good daily habit and also helps with your flow. A lot of the suggestions I have are actually around time. So the other one is like setting clear break times. For people, it's important, like if you want to take a 15-minute break, a 30-minute break, whatever it is, decide what time that is, take the break, own the break, then come back to work. And the last one is around setting a clear end time. And when I mean set a clear end time, it can be, I'm going to finish work at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, or it could be task related. I'm going to finish work when I get A, B, C, or D done. So again, it's looking at what works for you. Some days I do task-based. Like if I get into something, I just want to keep going and then get that task done, because I know the next day to get back into it will be harder.
Yeah.
So it's like, get the task done and then I'm done for the day.
I love that. That's so good. And you know what I like about these tips is that you can use them even when you return back to work, right? So it allows you to put that structure in place that helps you to become more productive and just a bit more focused and better at the work that you do, which, you know, will always go a long way in helping you succeed and grow at work. So that's all the questions I have, but I want to know how people can find you. Where should they, if they want to learn more about working from home, what resources do you offer and how can they learn more about you?
Sure, yeah. So I'm wondering, okay, so they can reach me. I have a website, janetlewis.com. And then I'm also on LinkedIn as Janet Lewis. If they're interested in more work from home information, I've actually started a Facebook group, and it's called Work from Home Solutions and Challenges. And so every day people are going in there posting different things. And we're also having, like, for example, on Thursdays, a happy hour. So I should mention, like, one of the biggest challenges that people are going to have moving from an office environment to the home environment is the water cooler talks and the happy hours after work. And so with the online Facebook, that's what we're trying to mimic and create, because isolation is hard. And it's in particularly hard on certain personality types.
Yeah.
And so in the Facebook group, every day we do like half an hour for a water cooler. Anyone who wants to jump on the Zoom call can, and we talk about anything else besides work. So we don't have to worry about confidentiality, right? And then Thursdays, we're going to be having happy hour at 5:30. And, you know, the other thing I'll say for people that really struggle with the isolation piece, because that is one of the top 5 challenges of working from home, is figure out the people on your work teams you should be connecting with, and either plan a daily or weekly call with different people on the team so you're still feeling like you're connected.
Got it. Got it. That's so great. Well, we'll make sure to include the links to your website, your LinkedIn, and also to that Facebook group that you've created in the description box, wherever that might be, whether we post this. But I thank you so much for your time today. It was invaluable. It's helped me. And like I say, I do work from home every now and then. So just these tips have been very, very great. And so thank you for that. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful and you know somebody who is working from home who could use this advice, definitely please do share with them. And if you have other ideas for other experts that I should bring on, definitely let me know. Until next time, thank you very much. We look forward to providing you with more resources and tools so we can survive and thrive in this changing workplace situation. Thank you very much. Goodbye.